on to our reports section. And the first item, recognition of staff and students.
Yes, and we do have, I know Kelly and Nelda are here to talk a little bit about the state FFA convention. I wasn't sure if they were going to get back. Did you pull them town?
Pretty much.
Okay. So if you want to come on up and share some good news, I think.
Kelly and I kind of decided we're going to let the students speak just because they're very capable and great.
So two really cool things happened to us when we were at the state FFA convention this week. I got elected as a state FFA officer.
Awesome.
And got his Acre Science Fair project moved on to nationals.
Very good.
Yep, I did my project on how much water is absorbed by different types of soil, and my judges thought I did pretty good. So I got gold in my division. So I can go into Louisville. Yep, Louisville next October.
Congratulations. Very good.
Fantastic.
And so I got elected as the Section 3 State FFA officer, and Toma hasn't had a state officer since the 80s, so it's really neat. We found out our offices this morning, and I'm going to be the secretary for this next year. So with that, we'll be able to do some really cool things here. Toma will be in charge of putting on a sectional leadership workshop, so we'll have that at the high school and bring in a bunch of FFA members from all around our section, which is 30 different schools, so that'll be really cool. We'll have that opportunity. And then I'll also be traveling a lot through Wisconsin and to other places. And then I'll also be putting on workshops all over, doing some different leadership things and speaking places and just representing the state organization of FFA. So it should be really fun here.
Excellent. Very good.
Very good. Awesome. Congratulations.
One other thing that she kind of missed, we will also be hosting the sectional speaking contest, which will be in March. And she actually leaves starting on Monday for her first training, and that'll be in Marshfield. And then she will get back, I think it's after a week long of training, and then she leaves on Sunday again for another week of training in Green Bay, and then goes to Illinois after that, and then she's into July. So she has, that's just a small sample of what her schedule will be like. Very busy. Mrs. Johnson and I are very excited to get to work with Emma on this new opportunity. And one other responsibility that we have, Mrs. Johnson's going to hand on.
We are in charge of helping with the state tractor driving contest, and that is held in June. So a bunch of different events that we get to help with and see how they're run and organized, and learn a little bit more on how FFA is run at the state. Build on different leadership things as Emma progresses through this.
So will people be bringing tractors to Toma? Or
I don't know much about the contest yet, so this is all new for me. So as we go through,
it's a great opportunity. I'm really excited. Ms. Johnson is. It's a great opportunity for both of us to learn a lot. There's a lot of opportunities out there in FFA that we might not be able to always know all the ins and outs, but this really gets you submerged in it. With the tractor safety one, we'll probably be working, it's no longer Dagenhart's, but with Dagenhart's to have them work with us in bringing up equipment. We'll probably do it the same week of tractor pull, because they usually have the equipment here before the tractor pull anyways. So we'll do that in conjunction. And
it's coming up quickly. That's
we don't actually have to host it this year.
Oh, okay.
Next June.
I'm a little worried about you. Yeah.
September 18th is the tentative date that the state is giving us for our first event we have to host. And we'll have about 250 to 300 students here that we'll be hosting. So somewhere in that ballpark. Emma didn't explain the process that she had to go through. She has to put together a resume, and she had to go through 4 different kinds of interviews, plus take a written test, knowledge, and then also do a written sample test where they had to, I think this year, did you? Blogs they had to do. And actually, as a state officer, she'll be in charge of writing a newsletter for her section with 30 different schools, and also a blog that she does through the state website, not through our website. And so she had all of that. And after she went through the interviews, the written, and all of that, it's narrowed down to 2 students. And from there, they then meet in front of the 30 different schools that each have 2 representatives, and she gives 4 speeches. And when she gives speeches, she literally draws those topics out, gets 3 of them, puts 2 back, and gets a minute to prepare and speaks in front of those students. And she had 4 speeches like that, and then the students vote on who is elected. So that gives you kind of a little bit more of an understanding of the process. It's pretty recursive.
Very impressive. Wasn't at your FFA awards, helping with the awards, wasn't he a state officer?
He was.
And if he's representative of what it takes, I mean, it speaks highly of Emma. I mean, he was a very dynamic, smart guy, you could tell. And if that's the kind of people that qualify for that, it speaks highly of Emma's abilities, because they want really sharp, dynamic people, it looks like.
And actually, he was the state secretary, so she actually...
Oh, she's getting his spot. And she'll be going around doing those kind of things then? Oh, that's impressive.
She'll also be going to all 30 schools in our section and presenting chapter visits there. And she'll actually end up doing more than 30, because we make the state officer come to the high school and the middle school, because we only feel it's fair that our students are exposed in both. And so she actually ends up doing more than 30.
That's awesome. It's very, very good.
Well, we know both of them will represent Toma very well, so thank you.
Thank you.
We also had a student who received a grant for her SAE, which is a supervised agriculture experience. So her SAE was raising sheep, and she went through an award application, and she won $1,000 from the FFA to help her improve her sheep project. So that was very, very impressive. And Mara also got one. Hers was for... Okay, so animals again for hers.
We also received one on the high school level for Mara Conant, and hers was in the emphasis of equine, and hers she's emphasizing in miniature donkeys, and she also got a grant for that. And that's based on their skills and their competencies, and it's actually a written application that they have to fill out. Like Mara actually had to fill out information, skills, and competencies of what she's going to use that money for, and they actually have to fill out a budget sheet and budget that money and everything on that order. So it's not just, Mara didn't just put a letter and say, hey, I want money. It was, how are you going to use it? How are you going to budget it? And then once you buy this stuff, you actually have to submit your receipts and financial paperwork back to them. And Mara did an outstanding job in that aspect too. So, lots of positive things, and we'll be coming back because we're going to do all of our summer trips or overnight trips at one time too. So.
Did you get a special medal?
Yep, I got a gold ribbon.
Oh, great.
Very nice.
And with the Agri Science Fair project, I should explain it because Hunter did a lot of work with this aspect. The Agri Science Fair, you actually have to put together all of the steps of the scientific process. You have to go through and have the methods, the procedure, the data, the logbook, all of this stuff. So this isn't something he just put together in 10 minutes. This is very much of a science-based project. This is kind of one of Hunter's niches. I think he really enjoys it because he will talk throughout class and, oh, that would make a cool project. I'd really like to do that. And I can see him when he becomes a senior that when he goes to get his fill out for his state FFA degree, it'll be in the agri-science area. And he has a very strong foundation in that aspect. So a lot of work, and they have to research and find data to back up their statistics too. So much like a high school aged, basically, science fair. And the ones at nationals, to get to go there, it has to be primo, very perfect and everything like that. And that will be in October. That'll be one of the trips that we'll be asking permission for. And that'll be in Louisville. Anything else you can think of on it?
Took me 3 years to get it.
He's worked at it for 3 years. And
It's okay.
with this, it's not just that they do the project, they actually have to put together a display board. They have to also, that lists out all of the data, all the information, the process, and they also have an interview that goes with it. So it's not just, here's my project, look at it. It's the personal skills and the communication too. Questions for either one of the students?
Just say we're all very proud of you,
Oh, thank you.
you know? So it's quite something.
It's going to be. It's going to be a good year, I think.
Very nice.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the hard
Yes,
work
thank you.
and making us very proud.
Yes. Also, under recognition of students and staff, Ms. Sparish is coming up to talk about Summer Lampert, but while she's coming up, I did embed information from the PBIS network, and you'll see that we have 3 schools this year that were recognized as schools of distinction: Toma High School, Lemonwire, and Miller. And if you read through that, you'll see that they only recognized 87 schools statewide. So to have 3 schools in our district that receive that distinction is really great. So we congratulate those buildings on their efforts to reinforce positive behaviors and provide appropriate support to students that need help. And then there's a letter embedded, Summer Dean, that you can open, and I know Ms. Sparish is going to speak to that.
Toma is very fortunate to be in a grant, math science partnership grant with Lacrosse, Alaska, and us. It's focusing primarily on science, looking at the next generation science standards. This is, they're completing their 2nd year, and we're happy to find out that we have received a 3rd year of this grant. One of the teachers in that grant is Summer Dean, and one of the things they had to do this year, they've been learning about various aspects of physics and motion, and they've taken field trips up to Valley Fair to learn things about things. And one of the things they had to do was to get input from their parents of the students that are in their classes to find out, is this having an impact in their classes? And what you have is a letter that was written by one of Ms. Dean's parents about her. And you know, when you hear the things in there, that she doesn't just teach for memorization, she has a very hands-on, she's very passionate, she's making learning engaging, and I'm sure this is not only in science but in everything. And this is from a parent that had the chance to observe her class. Last week I was at a grant meeting, and all of the coordinators and all the professors of the grant could not speak more highly about Summer and how she plans meticulously, and how many details are put into everything she does, and just how they hope that she continues for the 3rd year, because she's so outstanding in the stuff that she has gained, but also what she gives back to them. So I wanted to give you that opportunity and let you have this opportunity to read this, that, you know, these are good things that are going on.
And maybe just make a comment in regard to all the teachers that were at CISA this week.
Oh, okay. Also, I'm very fortunate this past week to work with our math and English Language Arts curriculum leaders. There was, for the English Language Arts, it was 3 days of curriculum, they call it Curriculum Companion Boot Camp, and for math it was 2 days of it. And it was interesting to see the work that they were doing there, and Summer was one of them there. And I sat down next to her, and I kind of walked away from her because I said, do you have the whole year planned out already for your teachers? Because these are the ones that will bring forth the Common Core state standards to each grade level. And Summer was not the only one. All of them were working so collaboratively, coming up with a plan on how we can roll out those Common Core state standards and how we can continue to improve on them. Because we have the realization that come fall, they're not going to be perfect, but we want to continue to improve each year on those. So it was a good feeling too. You get those teachers there and they take over, and they're asking you, is this the best way? Do you think this will work? And I've left it up to them because they know their teams, and not every team will go about it the same way, but we will get to the same point. And Cindy had the opportunity to go the last day to see some of it, so I don't know what you thought.
Well, I was very impressed, and what I was most impressed with at the end of the day, they asked every school that was there to say a comment about how the experience went, and Toma got a round of applause because the comment was made, thank you to the Toma teachers for helping us through this. So our teachers are really kind of ahead of the curve in comparison to a lot of districts. They've developed templates, they've put, processes into place to better understand the Common Core, and they were really leaders there because they were acknowledged by all the other schools as being very helpful, which was really nice.
The English language arts, the way they ran it, they kind of broke us up by grade levels, and our people really took over, took charge, and we're the leaders of those groups because they had some things in place where other groups didn't. The math was run a little different, and you didn't get to see that because you went the third day. The math they ran where we stayed together as a district, so it was run a little differently, but both of them very good. Good to see our people together. One thing that I was excited also to hear is they already have plans that we're going to go back, and as a 5th grade team we're meeting on this day, as a 4th grade team we're meeting on that day. They're taking charge, and that's what we need.
It's wonderful to hear the excitement. If they're truly engaged in excitement, that's great.
You may want to ask Steve Buss. He sat in on those days, and he's not one to sit still that long, so he may not have that excitement. Don't look at me like that.
What? Excited? He's listening.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to hear that, all things considered, were considered a little bit ahead of the curve. I don't know if that's part collaboration time, part enthusiasm. I'll give credit to administration for focused efforts here. So, I remember a previous board meeting when I asked, how do we see improvement? Well, they don't always have to be in the numbers and report cards. If I can hear things like this, those are aspects of improvement to me. So I like to hear this.
I think we have to keep the passion going, and if we ever lose that, then we're going to stop seeing improvement. The collaboration is key to this. The time that they've had. When we talk to the other districts there, a lot of the districts do not have that collaboration time, and they are having more of a difficult time trying to figure out how to get this to move forward. With that size of our district and having that time, we still don't have enough, but we have a good amount of it to get the job done.
Good. Thanks for the report. Let's see, anything else then on staff and students?
No, I believe that's it.
You did embed, as you said, the letters on PBIS and so
Yes, I'm sorry.
the custodial.
Yes, I did embed also for you. Today we had the Cooley Region Summer Custodial Conference at Toma High School, and Kurt Revis was really in charge of that, along with custodial and maintenance directors from the schools in our area. And I took a few pictures when I was there this morning, and there were lots of vendors that were lined up in the hallways, and I think they had about 200 participants who came, custodial folks. And then Pete Prochowski from the Milwaukee Police Department and also the Milwaukee Public Schools was their keynote speaker, talking about safety and security and the role that our custodians and maintenance folks play in that as well. So it was very well organized, and I'm certain a very productive day for all of the custodians who attended. And I believe they even gave out, the vendors all donated some money, and one of the lucky custodians was going home with a 50-inch flat screen TV. Their name was going to be drawn out, so it was an exciting day for them. So.
Have we had it here before?
No, this is the first time we've sponsored it. So it was nice to showcase also the high school, and it looked it looked wonderful that our maintenance folks and custodians had made sure that things were in tip-top shape, so.
Okay. So does that cover the recognition?
Yes.
Great. It's nice to have some things in there.